With style, size and technology now on its side, the improved version of Peugeot's third generation Expert has much to offer if you're looking for a versatile medium-range mid-sized van. There are diesel and full EV versions on offer. My name's Jonathan Crouch. I've been testing cars for over 40 years. You'll find them all on the Car and Driving Car Review app. Here, I'm going to try and tell you everything that you really need to know about this van in a way that you'll find nowhere else. Let me hand you over to our presenter, Steve.
With style and size on its side, this improved version of the third generation Peugeot Expert is ready to do battle with the mid-sized panel van sector's big hitters. Here, we're going to take a closer look. If you want a job done properly, then you call an expert. In this case, we're talking LCVs, mid-sized ones to be exact, and this is Peugeot's entry into the volume medium-range van sector, led comfortably for UK market sales by the Ford Transit Custom, but also populated by many other segment big hitters. Taking all those on isn't something you'd want to do single-handed, so the French brand has chosen to share this design not only with its partner Citroen's Dispatch model, but also with Vauxhall's Vivaro, the Fiat Scudo, and even a brand outside of the Stellantis group conglomerate, Toyota, with their ProAce. All these vans share the same platform and basic design. Earlier versions of this Expert didn't significantly trouble the main players in the segment, namely the first generation model of 1996 and the second generation version of 2007. The Mark III K0 series model, though, launched back in 2016, got itself sorted out with more sophisticated design and larger load volumes that still rival anything in the class. A full EV version, the E-Expert, arrived in 2020, and the whole range was usefully updated in early 2024 to create the LCV we're going to look at here. You get clever design, proven powertrains, and low running costs in a package that certainly works on paper. Whether it will cut the mustard day to day, though, is what we're here to find out. You can find out more about this kind of van by downloading the Car and Driving app. And if your interest is specifically in this Expert, then stay with us, because this is the industry's most comprehensive review, the Car and Driving Road Test. So, do you get an expert driving experience? Well, let's start with powertrains. As with its various design clones, engine choice in this Peugeot is pretty straightforward, provided you have a clear idea of the kind of work that you want it to do. If your needs are mainly based around lighter loads and short distance urban work, then the entry level, the 120 horsepower, 1.5 litre Blue HDI 120 unit paired with manual transmission may well be quite sufficient. Otherwise, you'll be looking probably at the 2.2 litre Blue HDI diesel with 150 horsepower, which is what we're trying here with a manual gearbox. It does also come with the option of 8-speed E88 automatic transmission. This 2.2 litre diesel also comes at the top of the line in auto only 180 HP form. There is also a full electric version, the E-Expert, which now offers a 230 mile range from the 75 kilowatt hour battery. A key factor behind the success of previous generation Expert models has been the way that this French LCV is able to remain compact and wieldy in the manner of smaller, more car-like vans from the class below. This Mark III model's bigger, of course, than those older designs, but it retains much of the same usability around town, and it rides much better thanks to supple suspension and a stiff EMP2 platform. Special wishbone filtering dampens the impact of our country's terrible tarmac, and the variable stiffness springs and shock absorbers deliver surprising levels of comfort whether the vehicle is loaded or unloaded. Peugeot has also done a lot of work to improve refinement here, and we like the driving time warning system too, which flashes up a dash warning after 2 hours of uninterrupted driving at speeds of 40 miles an hour and above. With either drivetrain, the model feels quite manoeuvrable. Testers who'd found the sheer size of some of the other mid-sized LCVs in this segment a bit daunting when they were dealing with narrow country lanes and when they were squeezing through gaps in traffic were, we found, much more easily able to acclimatise to an Expert with its car-like driving position. The bonnet is set quite high, but the nose has a squared off shape, which we found during our testing program really makes this Peugeot easy to place in tight urban situations. There's a curb-to-curb turning circle of 12.4 metres, and ride quality is a strong point. That's thanks to load adaptive variable damping shock absorbers, a system which varies the damping with the vehicle's ride height. If your business has moved on from smoky diesels, you'll be interested in the single E-Expert electric variant that we mentioned earlier on. This EV uses a 136 PS electric motor and is now only available with a large 75 kilowatt hour battery pack, and that gives you the improved 230 mile best EV range figure we mentioned earlier on. That's about 12 miles further than the equivalent version of the pre-facelift E-Expert model. If you're wondering what driving a full electric mid-sized van might be like, well, there's not too much to get your head around actually. You turn the key in the ignition, you wait for the starting beep, and then flick the gear toggle into drive. There is a drive mode selector which allows drivers to switch between eco, normal and power modes. The normal setting restricts you to 109 PS and will feel a bit like driving a lower capacity diesel. Eco mode restricts you still further to 81.5 PS and reduces the power consumption of the air conditioning and other accessories. If you want the full 136 PS and 270 Newton meters of torque, then selecting power mode unlocks that. There are paddles behind the steering wheel to vary brake regeneration, and that replaces the previous gearbox B setting. The fiercest setting slows you very noticeably off throttle. Top speed, that's just 81 miles an hour, and 62 from rest takes 14.3 seconds. This improved Expert gets some subtle visual changes. You'll notice these ribbed panels that flow out of the headlights towards the latest Peugeot emblem. The solid front bumper integrates air inlets across the entire width of the vehicle, aiming to emphasise what Peugeot hopes is a robust appearance. This plusher asphalt trimmed version is set apart by eco LED headlights, beaded little corner fog lights and body coloured bumpers. With either drivetrain, there's a choice of either this short wheelbase standard length version, which is 4.98 metres long, or the alternative lengthier long variant, which is 5.22 metres long. With both lengths, you can have a crew van variant with an extra row of seats, but as with this model's various design clones, there's no high roof option on any Expert panel van. There are low side protection strips which are body coloured with this plusher trim level. It also gets larger 17-inch wheels with full-sized covers. At the back, as usual, the tail lights are mounted high up to help avoid potentially costly parking knocks. And with this updated model, there's smarter, spaced-out Peugeot lettering on the right-hand door. You might be surprised to learn that this LCV is actually assembled at Luton alongside this design's Stellantis Group LCV stablemates. The main design changes, though, as part of this update, lie in the cabin. If you're an Expert regular, you'll notice the interior changes to this model immediately. If you're not, then the improvements might not be quite so obvious. Mainly, they're all about the enhanced screen tech, which this dashboard has been redesigned to incorporate. You'll quickly notice this now larger 10-inch central infotainment touchscreen, and it's been paired with a configurable 10-inch digital instrument cluster. Both features standard across the range. The horizontally orientated steering wheel design is different too. It now features brake regeneration pedals for the E-Expert, and on all models, integrated controls for key features like driving aids, telephone and multimedia. The efforts made to set this Peugeot apart from its Stellantis Group LCV cousins are cursory, so as with those other models, you get quite a low seating position for a van with plenty of seat and wheel adjustment. As usual in this class, a 3-person bench is fitted, and with pricier trim, or as an option, there's a ModuWork bulkhead flap, so longer items can be pushed through from the cargo area. That setup comes together with a fold down section for the central seat that when flattened will double as a work surface. Let's drill down into the screen stuff a bit for you. The button to the right of the instrument display allows you to scroll through the panel's 3 provided layouts. The main one gives you a central digital speedo with, on this diesel model, outer flanking readouts for things like radio and water temperature on the left. And if you click on the end of the right-hand column stalk, selectable trip data on the right. The 2 other screen formats move the digital speedo to the left to make room for either audio functions or nav mapping. As for this central HD monitor, well, it has the usual Stellantis sourced home screen that features various customizable widget sections with options for radio, phone, mirror screen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connection, Hey Peugeot voice control, and an applications drawer section too. You can set up the first home screen as you like and then swipe left to set up a second. Peugeot claims that cabin storage has been improved as part of the dashboard redesign, but it does remain a bit of a mixed bag. True, the size of existing storage compartments has been increased and new ones have been added, which the brand thinks will allow this Expert van to better act as an extension of the office. But this dash top center storage compartment still doesn't have a lid, so items placed in it will reflect up onto the windscreen. The cup holder you get at each dash top corner is still too small. You still don't get an overhead storage shelf, even as an option, and under-seat storage remains a bit limited. Plus, on the passenger side, the upper glove box isn't as big as it looks, and the lower passenger side open stowage area remains compromised in size on right-hand drive models by the fuse box. On the plus side, there are huge lower door bins with smaller storage trays in the doors above, plus you'll get ticket clips in the sun visors. There's also a central console cubby below the 2 provided USB-C ports in the middle of the dash. Like its predecessors, the Expert comes in 2 main configurations, panel van, as in this case, or crew van. And there are 2 main trim levels, professional and plusher asphalt, which is what we have here. Plus, and this is mainly aimed at owner drivers, there's an extra top sport trim level. There are 2 body lengths, this standard version or a lengthier long variant. The drive choices between diesel and full EV power plants. As you'd expect, the LCV range pricing broadly mirrors what you'll pay for this model's identically engineered Stellantis Group mid-sized LCV cousins. We're talking about the Citroën Dispatch, the Fiat Scudo and the Vauxhall Vivaro, and the other versions of this design too, Toyota's ProAce. For the diesel Expert variants like this one, ex-VAT on the road prices as we filmed in autumn 2025 were in the £29,000 to £34,000 bracket for professional and asphalt models. For the full electric, autumn 2025 pricing saw asking figures in the £36,000 to £42,000 bracket for professional and asphalt models, after subtraction of course of the government's £5,000 plug-in van grant. As you expect, these prices reflect the prevailing rate for the mid-sized van segment. Also similarly priced are Ford's Transit Custom and the design badged either as the Renault Trafic or the Nissan Primastar, but you'll pay a bit more for either the Volkswagen Transporter or the Mercedes Vito. 3 Chinese models, the Horizon SV and the Maxus brands eDeliver 5 and eDeliver 7 models, also compete in the segment. Those vans are only available as full EVs. If it's this Peugeot you've decided to want though, then you're going to need to know about standard spec. As you'd expect, base trim gives you only the basics, although that does include rear parking sensors, high beam assist, cruise control with a speed limiter, a laminated windscreen, selective door locking, and both near side and offside side sliding doors. For the cab, there's now a 10-inch colour digital instrument cluster, plus there's manual air conditioning, a 6-way adjustable driver's seat with height, rake, reach and lumbar adjustment. That's along with a full steel bulkhead. The EV version gets a heated driver's seat too. Across the range, media connectivity is now dealt with by a 10-inch Peugeot iConnect HD touch central screen. The latter infotainment monitor comes with natural voice recognition, 4G connectivity, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone mirroring, also Wi-Fi activation and connection to a My Peugeot app. Now, this will allow you to interact with your expert via your phone whilst you're away from it. Probably the main reason you want to stretch to this plusher asphalt spec is to get the useful ModuWork load-through bulkhead package that gives you a fold-up middle seat, a fold-down writing table in the centre seat back, and storage under the passenger bench. Plus there's a useful load-through flap under the outer passenger seat into the cargo area. Bear in mind though that you don't get the ModuWork package if you stretch up to asphalt spec with the crew van model. On all Experts, asphalt spec also upgrades you with eco LED headlights, front fog lamps, larger 17-inch grey wheels with full wheel covers, and an exterior look pack that gives you body colour for the bumpers and for the side mouldings. Other asphalt spec features include TomTom 3D connected navigation and a Visio Park 180 reversing camera with a dynamic surround view system that includes a digital rear view mirror and lateral side view cameras. With asphalt spec, there's also an ultrasonic security alarm system, there's front parking sensors, power folding mirrors and a flank guard detection system which automatically brakes the van to prevent low speed parking knocks. Earlier we mentioned the owner-driver orientated sport trim level. With that you get a sports body kit, unique sport livery and badging, and exclusive Y-spoke 18-inch wheels fitted with high-capacity Nankang tyres. Inside with sport spec you're treated to handcrafted and fitted eco-leather perforated upholstery with an embossed sport logo and bold kryptonite stitching. There's also heat for the steering wheel and the driver's seat. There's dual zone electronic climate control and a wireless charging mat. Sport trim also gets you keyless entry and first row thorax side airbags. Onto options across the Expert range. Most of the extra asphalt spec features, including key ones like the ModuWork load-through bulkhead, the dynamic surround view camera system, navigation and the vehicle alarm, they're all available at extra cost with the base professional trim if you want them. 17-inch alloy wheels are available too. We'd want a full-size spare wheel too. That can be ordered separately, and it also comes included with the worksite pack that additionally incorporates an under-engine protection plate and an increase in ground clearance to 175 millimeters. To protect the load area, you can add a 9 millimeter coated anti-slip wooden load floor with aluminium rods. As usual with this kind of van, you can add glazing to the bulkhead and the rear doors, and you can replace the two-person front bench with a single seat if you want to, and of course you can add a tow bar. You might also want to look at the driver assist pack, which bundles together active cruise control and electric parking brake and heat for the steering wheel and for the driver's seat on the diesel. A winter pack adds side airbags and heat for the steering wheel and for the driver's seat. With the EV version, if you'll be wanting to charge via a faster three-phase supply, then remember you'll need to find the £400 extra that Peugeot needs for the 11 kilowatt three-phase onboard charger with its Mode 3 22 kilowatt cable. Bear in mind that with any Expert, unless you order the only standard colour, and that's solid ice white, you'll be paying your dealer £650 more for your company's chosen paint shade. We have Cumulus Grey Metallic here. Onto safety kit. In all, 18 advanced driver assistance systems are fitted across the range, and there's a lot fitted as standard. Even base professional versions now come as standard with an automatic braking system, lane keeping assist, driver attention alert, high beam assist, and intelligent speed assist 2 with excessive speed warning. There's also tyre pressure monitoring. There are twin front airbags, and unlike quite a few rival LCVs in this segment, including some Stellantis ones actually, Peugeot includes standard front side airbags on this panel van model too. Blind spot detection comes with top asphalt spec. Time to open the twin rear doors out back here and take a look at the load area, which in this standard shape model sits between 544 and 613 millimeters from the ground. As usual, you can push the door further back by just clicking on those little yellow stays there. Most customers will be choosing this Expert in this conventional panel van form we have here, where you'll find at floor level the cargo bay is 2,512 millimeters in length for this standard wheelbase version and 2,862 mils for the lengthier long variant, with 1,258 millimeters of width between the wheel arches and a maximum height of 1,397 mils from floor to ceiling. Overall cargo capacity sees a minimum load volume of 5.3 cubic meters for this standard length model and 6.1 cubic meters for the long variant. This expands to 5.8 and 6.6 cubic meters respectively when the ModuWork load through bulkhead facility is used. That's an option on base trim. For reference, the rival Ford Transit Custom short wheelbase offers 5.8 cubic meters of carriage capacity without the need for a load through option, and that can be had with a higher roof too. Obviously, with the crew van version, the load area is slightly limited by the second row seating. At floor level, there's 2,017 millimeters of load length with the crew van standard and 2,365 mils with the crew van long variant. Overall, crew van cargo capacity sees a minimum load volume of 3.2 cubic meters for the standard length model and 4 cubic meters for the long variant. One reason you might still want an Expert in this diesel form relates to payload, and sure enough, this diesel model panel van's payload figures look pretty decent. They vary between 1,121 kilos and as much as 1,384 kilos. That's one of the highest figures in the sector. The electric model is limited to a payload of between 1,011 kilos and 1,210 depending on variant. Diesel model panel van gross vehicle weights vary between 2,830 kilos and 3,100 kilos. EV variant panel van gross vehicle weights start at 3,160 kilos. The brake towing weight on this diesel is 2,000 kilos for the 1.5 and 2,500 kilos for the 2.2. With the EV, the brake towing weight is limited to 1 ton. Not all contenders in this segment provide a sliding side door on both sides of the vehicle, but the panel van version of this Peugeot does, with an aperture 1,241 millimeters in height and 935 mils in width. Whatever Expert variant you choose, this remains a practical space. It's equipped with dim cargo area lights and plenty of tie downs. Ideally, you'd want to add a ply lining kit to protect those exposed wheel arches from scrapes and knocks. And Peugeot would very much like to sell you a 9mm coated anti-slip wooden load floor with aluminium rods to protect the cargo area base. As for running costs, well, the 1.5 litre 120 PS diesel now returns up to 44.8 miles per gallon on the WLTP combined cycle, with up to 164 grams per kilometre of CO2. This 2.2 litre diesel with 150 PS surprisingly does fractionally better. It manages up to 45.6 mpg and up to 163 grams per kilometre as a manual, or up to 43.5 mpg and 172 grams per kilometre as an auto, either in 150 PS or 180 PS form. These figures should give you a decent range of around 600 miles from the 70-litre fuel tank. You will need to keep the separate 22.5-litre AdBlue additive tank regularly topped up every few thousand miles, of course. The van's trip computer will tell you when to do that. If you ignore those warnings, though, eventually the van won't start. As we told you in our driving section, the electric model manages up to 230 miles on a charge in combined motoring, or up to 282 miles in city traffic. If you're looking at the full battery version, then you'll want to know that the 75 kilowatt hour battery can be DC recharged from 5 to 80% in 45 minutes at a 100 kilowatt public charging station. If you're AC charging, a 7.4 kilowatt wall box will need 11 hours 20 minutes for a full charge, which you can reduce to 7 hours 30 minutes if you pay Peugeot Extra for an 11 kilowatt charger and connect up to a 3-phase supply. Connected to a domestic socket, you'll need a yawning 36 hours and 45 minutes for full battery replenishment. Service intervals are every 2 years or 25,000 miles for the 1.5 litre diesel. It's every 2 years or 30,000 miles for this 2.2 litre diesel, or every 2 years and 32,000 miles for one of the diesel autos. It's all a bit behind the longer 36,000 mile service intervals you'll get from a rival Ford Transit Custom, though. The electric version, that needs a workshop visit every 2 years or 25,000 miles. You can opt for a service plan which lets you pay monthly to spread out the cost of that regular work to your van. You'll also need to know that Peugeot includes a 3-year, 100,000 mile warranty as standard, and that's better than the packages which are offered with the equivalent Vauxhall, Citroën and of course Fiat versions of this design, but way off the up to 10-year package that you could have on the Toyota ProAce version of it. Peugeot's warranty package, that can be extended by up to 5 years at extra cost. This will also get you 5 years of servicing and also roadside assistance. A year's free breakdown cover, that's also provided, along with a 6-year anti-corrosion guarantee. With the E-Expert, then the battery is guaranteed to 70% of capacity for up to 8 years or 100,000 miles. Despite the recent growth in sales of ever larger compact vans, you can see why so many operators still choose to play it safe and opt for a larger but still relatively light and manoeuvrable mid-sized LCV like this one. The Expert's designers have clearly looked very closely at what modern businesses need, and their smarter, updated version makes even more sense on the balance sheet. It's more than competitive against the Transit Customs and Renault Trafics of this world, but whether you'd want one of these over its Citroën, Toyota and Fiat design stablemates will depend, as usual, very much upon the deal that you're offered and of course the proximity of your local dealer. Still, Peugeot's huge franchise network and tight pricing sets it up really nicely here. It's user-friendly, just like this van.